Morty was a little boy with sandy blonde hair and big, curious blue eyes. He loved playing in his garden, digging for wiggly worms and watching busy bees buzz around the flowers. One sunny morning, something new and exciting happened. A big van rumbled to a stop next door, and soon boxes and furniture were being carried into the house. Morty peeked through the fence. New neighbors! A little later, Morty saw an elderly lady with kind eyes and fluffy white hair come out of the house. Her name was Mrs. Gable, and with Mrs. Gable was a dog. It was a beautiful, fluffy dog with fur the color of sunshine and a tail that wagged like a happy metronome. Morty had never been very close to a dog before. They seemed so big and barky. He stayed very still, watching from behind his mom's rose bushes. The dog sniffed the new grass in its yard, its tail swish, swish, swishing. The next day, Morty was playing with his bright red ball in his garden. He bounced it high, boing, boing, boing. Suddenly, he heard a happy woof from the other side of the fence. It was the neighbor's dog. The dog, whose name Morty later learned was Buddy, poked his wet black nose through a tiny gap in the fence, his tail thumping excitedly against the wooden planks. Morty giggled. Buddy seemed friendly. Mrs. Gable came out into her garden, wearing a cheerful apron with pictures of daisies on it. She smiled when she saw Morty. "Hello there, young man," she called, her voice as warm as a hug. "I see you've met Buddy." Morty, feeling a little shy but also very curious, walked slowly towards the fence. "Hello, is he a good dog?" "Oh, Buddy is a very good boy," Mrs. Gable said, gently patting Buddy's golden head. "He loves making new friends. Would you like to say hello properly?" Morty nodded, his blue eyes wide. He remembered his mom telling him to always ask before petting a dog. "Can I?" "Of course," said Mrs. Gable. "The best way to say hello to a dog you don't know is to hold out your hand, palm down, nice and still, and let him sniff you. That's how dogs say hello to each other, by sniffing." Morty carefully pushed his little hand through the gap in the fence. He held it very still, just like Mrs. Gable said. Buddy came closer, his nose twitching. He sniffed Morty's hand once, twice, and then slurp! A big, warm, wet lick right across Morty's palm. Morty burst out laughing. "He licked me! It tickles!" Buddy wagged his tail even harder, his whole body wiggling with joy. Mrs. Gable chuckled. "He likes you. That was a friendly lick." "Maybe," Mrs. Gable suggested, "your mom wouldn't mind if you came into our garden for a little while. Then you can pet Buddy properly." Morty, with his mom watching from their side of the fence, carefully walked through the little gate that Mrs. Gable opened between their gardens. Buddy trotted up to Morty, tail wagging. "Now," Mrs. Gable said softly, "when you pet a dog, you should be gentle. Stroke him nicely on his back or his side. Dogs don't like it if you pull their ears or tail or pat them too hard on the head." Morty reached out a slightly trembling hand and gently stroked Buddy's soft, fluffy back. Buddy leaned into his touch and let out a happy little sigh. "He's so soft," Morty exclaimed, his earlier nervousness melting away like an ice cream cone on a hot day. Mrs. Gable found a soft, squeaky toy shaped like a blue donut. "Buddy loves to play," she said, "but we play gently." She showed Morty how to gently toss the toy a short distance. Buddy bounded after it, picked it up carefully in his mouth, and brought it right back to Morty, his tail wagging like crazy. Morty giggled and threw it again. They played for a long time, Morty throwing, Buddy fetching, and Mrs. Gable smiling at them both. Buddy even rolled over for a tummy rub, and Morty learned that many dogs love that. Later, while Buddy lapped up some water from his bowl, Mrs. Gable told Morty about all the things Buddy needed. "Dogs need fresh water and good food every day, just like we do," she explained. "And they need walks to stretch their legs and sniff all the interesting smells. And lots of love and playtime, of course." Morty listened carefully. He hadn't known dogs needed so much care. "It's like having a furry friend who needs you to look after him," he said, thoughtfully. Exactly, said Mrs. Gable. It's a big responsibility, but it's also very rewarding. Buddy gives me so much joy. Soon it was time for Morty to go home for lunch. Can I come and play with Buddy again? He asked, already looking forward to it. Of course, dear, Mrs. Gable said. Buddy would love that. Morty waved goodbye to Buddy, who gave a little woof in return. As he walked back to his own garden, Morty wasn't scared of dogs anymore.